That video was pisser. So I text Brian last night. I said, you know, anything you want me to hit in particular? He goes, no, just be from Boston. I said, that's easy. So I got my Red Sox tie. I got my Patriots cufflinks. I got my marathon colored socks. I have my Celtics, take my word for it, I got Celtics underwear on. And I couldn't find anything from the Bruins to put on. So I'm here. And, you know, I asked Freddie when he was leaving the AFL-CIO Executive Board, I said, who you got coming in here? He said, good kid, smart kid. And Brian's first meeting, I was sitting next to him. Well, you know, you don't really pick where you sit. Our name cards were next to each other. And I quickly started cheating off his paper. And it's been a blessing to have him as a friend and a wingman in this labor movement, leading two unions that have an awful lot in common. You know, I got to give a shout out to Corey, who does a ton of work up on the Hill. That was, I see her all over the place, literally all over the world lobbying for you. And we're proud to partner with you guys on many lobbying efforts. I'd like to give a quick shout out to a couple pals of mine, and I want to talk a little bit about how we all grew up. And Bobby DeMartin's here from Boston. Kevin Mulligan, Muggsy, good pals of mine that we hang in the same Veterans Post. And you know, when I talked to Rick DeCheck earlier this morning, he said, you know, you might have a worse Boston accent than I do. And I remember traveling. I want you to bear with me and forgive me. I was traveling somewhere and I spoke in front of our guys, firefighters. Guy come up to me after and he goes, man, that accent of yours. He said, say something Boston. And I said, go fuck yourself? You know, like, that was the only, it's the most Boston thing I can think of. And I apologize for swearing. I shouldn't. I should be better than that. But welcome to Boston. We're proud of our heritage as rebels who stand up and fight for what's right. And a lot of that comes from where we're from and the neighborhoods that we grew up in. And one of your great champions that grew up right down the road a piece here, about 5 traffic lights away, was a guy by the name of Mike O'Connor. For those of you that have been around a little while, Mikey was your director of the insurance division and a proud letter carrier and a good friend of my father's. And I knew him since I was a little kid. And he taught me a lot about the labor movement. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give Mikey, God rest his soul, a shout out as I got to the great honor and opportunity to speak in front of his union. So God bless you guys, and Brian, thank you for having me. So if you think about what firefighters and letter carriers have in common, there's one thing they can't take away from us. One day in our lives, we needed a job. And any one of us would have taken the fire or the PO, whatever came our way. And from that, we grew up as working class kids. And we knew that being part of a union was the path to a better life. And if we don't have a voice, we have nothing. And if we don't stick together, we don't have a voice. You know, we're those people in the neighborhoods in this country or the rural roads that know what's going on. You're knocking on doors 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week, dropping the mail off. You know what's going on behind the scenes in this country. Just like us. We're in the neighborhoods every day. It's where we work. We see where the problems are, what the problems are. You know, it's been said that no one, sees us. They just assume we're there until we're gone. Until you need a firefighter and you can't find one. Or until the mail stops coming or you can't mail a letter. we're kind of, I'll say it, a piece of the backbone of how society works, that no one really knows you're there. Kind of like your elbow. Once your elbow's gone, you're in trouble, right? But our job as union leaders, which each and every one of you are, you're all speaking for our brothers and sisters that are out there right now humping mail. And you're trying to chart the course for their future, for what's going to pay it forward for them and their family. And it's not an easy task. It's an age-old fight, going back to when they had moats with alligators in them. It's our job to fight across that moat and get what's right for us. It's not easy. If you notice, whenever you got a check in your whole career, even if you got direct deposit, it's a politician's signature on it. Whether we like it or not, we're in the political game. We have to be strong in the political game. You know, you think about issues that we have in common, true issues. You, like us, are getting screwed by the WEP. Raise your hand if you know what the windfall elimination provision is. Just like firefighters, a lot of us hustle a second job, pay into Social Security, get our quarters over the course of 2, 3, 4 decades, pay our fair share into the Social Security system. But because we fought for a defined benefit pension plan and fought to keep a defined benefit pension plan, and I know President Renfro continues to fight to right the wrongs in your pension plan, because he's spoken to me about them, and we have your back. The government chose to rob us. You know, I learned long ago in the streets in this city the difference between a thief and a robber. A thief takes from you when you're not looking, and a robber takes from you when you are. And when they passed the windfall elimination provision in Congress in 1980, they robbed us right before our eyes. Well, today we have 60 senators that signed on to correct that. Both sides of the aisle, by the way. Together we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting to right that wrong and get treated fairly the way we should be. You know, first and foremost, as a union, it's our job to make sure that after a day's work, we can make it home safely. The trends that we've seen in the attacks on postal workers doing their job, carrying a mailbag, is a disgrace. And I know that the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act, which was filed, which we will be proudly supporting, should and shall pass. We will fight in every congressional district to get that passed. We're going to get it to the president's desk for signing. Another challenge you guys have is they've tried to make the Postal Service, probably one of the most efficient government agencies to ever exist, appear dysfunctional. And that's all in an effort to try to privatize. Now, you would think we don't have much in common there, but in fact we do. Anywhere there's a dollar to be made, they're going to come at us. We have private sector fire departments that are spurring up under the guise of fighting wildfires. The government has given about $170 million grant to a private fire department. That privatization threat we both share, and we will both fight together. Remember, nobody ever gave us anything. Anything we have was fought for by those that came before us. I heard a story a little while back about someone that inspired me. And I heard on the floor today, a little while ago, one of my sisters talk about how retirees are such an important part of this union. And I heard about an old-timer, an old war veteran. He fought in the French and Indian Wars, a little before my time. His name was Samuel Whitmore. He was 78 years old. Now, I don't know if he carried the mail or fought fires. He might have done both. But when the British soldiers were marching by his home on their way to the Battle of Lexington and Concord to attack the Patriots who were fighting to rebel the tyranny that he was being forced to live under, he loaded his 2 muskets and his 2 pistols, sorry, 1 musket and 2 pistols, and went out and killed 3 British soldiers right in front of his house. Then withdrew his sword. They overwhelmed him, bayoneted him 6 times, and shot him in the face. As the story goes, about an hour and a half later, other patriots came across him as he was trying to reload his pistols. You're never out of the fight. Let's keep the fight up. Let's keep the righteous path that we've been on for generations as union members, and leave it better than we found it for those coming behind us. God bless you all, and God bless the National Association of Letter Carriers.
How about a letter carrier cheer for Firefighters President Ed Kelly?
Hey.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
Thank you all. God bless you guys.